I've just remembered where I first heard the name Dorian Gray. It was at my aunt, Lady Agatha's. She told me she had met a wonderful young man and that he was going to help her in the East End, and that his name is Dorian Gray. I don't want you to meet him. You don't want me to meet him. Oh, I beg your pardon, Basil. I didn't realize you had anyone in with you. This is Henry Wotton, an old Oxford friend of mine. I've just been telling him what a capital sitter you were. Now you have come in and spoiled everything. You have not spoiled my pleasure in meeting you, Mr. Gray. My aunt has spoken often of you. You are one of her favorites and one of her victims also. I am in Lady Agatha's black books at present. Henry, I should like to finish this picture today. Would you think it awfully rude of me if I asked you to go? Oh, Henry, please don't go. I see that Basil is one of his sulky moods, and I can't bear it when he sulks. Henry, sit down again. And Dorian, don't move about too much or pay any attention to what Lord Henry says. He has a terrible influence over all his friends, with the single exception of myself. Have you really such a bad influence, Lord Henry? As bad as Basil says? All influence is immoral, Mr. Gray. Immoral from a scientific point of view. There is no such thing as a good influence. To influence a man is to give him one's own soul. He does not think his natural thoughts or burn with his natural passions. And yet I believe that if a man were to live fully and completely, were to give expression to every thought, form to every feeling, reality to every dream, in order to get rid of a temptation, one must yield to it. Resist it, and your soul grows sick with longing for what it has denied to itself, for what its monstrous laws have made monstrous and unlawful. It has been said that the great events of the world take place in the brain. It is also in the brain that the great sins of the world take place. You, Mr. Gray, you with your youth and your boyhood, you have had thoughts that have made you afraid, passions that have filled you with terror, daydreams and sleeping dreams whose mere memory might stain your cheek with shame.